Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Listen Up. Today, ladies, we have an amazing special guest here. By popular demand, you all asked for the male perspective. So we have Cherrard here joining us. How are you today, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I am excited to have you here. Guys, before we get started though, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm so excited to jump into today's topic because it's been a hot one on love and relationships.
Mhm.
But and at the end here, we're gonna talk more about how amazing Mr. Cherrard is. He has some amazing, incredible products and some incredible things that he's doing, like with his podcast, Soul Vision, which you guys can catch up with him. And I know don't go racing over there blowing up the waves, but go over there and check him out on Facebook. And it's a Soul Vision podcast coming to you soon this month in
Yeah.
February. So keep a
Smart.
lookout.
Mhm.
So, Cherrard, let's jump into our topic today. We're talking about what love means to me from the male perspective.
Male perspective. Okay. Love. A lot of the cliche sayings is, love is having my back, supporting me when I'm trying to do things business wise or just personally. But what love means to me, you and I were talking about it a little bit when I said love is for me is when somebody not only accepts me for the things, my little quirks, but they actually love me for my little quirks. Because for me, when someone says, well, I accept him or her, even though they do X, Y, and Z, in my mind, that's just somebody saying they're settling for you. But those quirks for me are the sum total of the whole individual. And if you take those away, be it bad or good, you change the individual. So I love for me is when someone just loves me for the quirks, and love me because of the quirks. So,
Can you give me an example of loving you for one of the quirks?
okay, my quirk, one of my quirks is I'll get engulfed in something so deeply.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to come and tell me, yo, hey, I'm here, I'm
Okay.
here because I'm always trying to improve something, learn something or whatever. And just by habit, and I'll get so engulfed in it that I'll forget everything, you know. So just it's not me saying you're invisible to me. It's sometimes it's just a habit. And you may have to just tap me on the shoulder every now and again. It's like, hey, look this way, you know. So
See, that further and actually further solidifies our series that we did on the five love languages or the languages of love.
okay.
And I think have you heard of that? The languages of love?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in that, I think what you're saying is instead of coming and complaining about you being so engrossed or engulfed in something, now is that inclusive or is that something like, okay, this is something I like to do myself. So allow me the space to do it myself and then just tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, come on, I need some attention. Which one is it?
It's one of those things where if I get involved in something that I really love to do,
Mm-hmm.
because I could do it all day long.
Okay.
I'm when it comes to graphic work, t-shirts, and this and that and the other. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that stuff all day, all night, just to crank it out because it's for me, it's not a job. It's something that I enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not me trying to, saying it's more important than you. It's just how I work and how I operate. And I
Mm-hmm.
will let anybody know I am one of those individuals that you can communicate candidly with. So
Mm-hmm.
so me being as engulfed in what I'm doing as I am sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
I have to allow you to be candid with me to let me, hey, Shry, yo, come on now. You've been doing this too long. Now it's time, to come over this way. And it's not something that you'll have to do all the time. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I will get caught up in stuff.
Mm-hmm. But then that's learning your love language. And I think what you were saying is don't change my quirkiness, but love me, not in spite of, but love me for my quirkiness.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm a stickler for detail. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And when I pay attention to you, I pay attention to you,
Mm-hmm.
your whole being, because if you've changed something on you, I
Mm-hmm.
know you've changed something on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of women say men don't pay attention. Oh, we pay attention. We just may not say it all the time. But if you
Right.
like you got your hair this way today, if
Mm-hmm.
it changes tomorrow, it's not like it's going to go unnoticed. I'm gonna know that it's changed. Will I say something? I don't know. Do you like it? So what I'm saying. So you won't go unnoticed. I am a detail oriented individual.
See,
So
that goes back to the love languages again. And I bring that up because I think a lot of people miss that. They miss how important it is to pay attention to your partner and what their language of love is. So
right.
yours is detail. So somebody that, was maybe a sanguine personality where they just didn't really cross T's and dot I's, that might drive you bananas, huh?
Oh man, man,
I
you
can
know,
identify.
and
Because I'm cleric. I'm a cleric personality and I'm a stickler for detail. So, I had a young lady on the show the other day, and she was talking about how she's not a detail oriented person. So, where her partner might say, could you please put a coaster on the table as to not mess up the table? And she said it wouldn't be on purpose, but she would never remember to put a coaster down. But see, those detailed things are actually, to me, it helps to make a relationship, or it can actually break a relationship when you talk about somebody's like love. Like if somebody likes to touch, like I'm a touchy feely kind of person, so I like touch. For somebody else that does not like touch, that might not be a good match.
right.
But sometimes because of either physical or whatever, they may think that that's, I really like the way he looks or what have you, but they haven't taken the time to get to know, if you put that cup on that table without that coaster, it's going to drive me bananas.
Hey, but and what I've learned as I've gotten older,
Uh-huh.
I've learned that her putting that coaster on the table is
Mm-hmm.
not her trying to be rebellious against me. Because back in the
Right.
day, it would be like, come on, man, like you doing that to get at me, something like that. But now I
Right.
know that some people, that's not just a part of their makeup. It's not, hey, I'm gonna put this on the coaster. It's still a glass table. I'll clean it off if I, put something on the table.
Okay.
So now I know how to be patient with other folks as I want them to be patient with me.
That's good. That's good. So that's what I tell our ladies, to make sure that you're actually listening, and that what's important to your partner, is important,
Yeah.
even if it's the small corpse, or even if it's, So you look at, I just think you look at the whole picture, and then you just decide, because everybody's gonna come with their own brand of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide if that's something that you can actually roll with, in them too. Can they actually roll with your quirkiness?
Because we often speak with individuals about compatibility,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we've gotten into the point in this society where compatibility has become so focused on the monetary part of the salaries, the degrees, the this and that and the others, and we forget what, for me, we're talking about what love is for me.
Yes.
When we're equally yoked or compatible, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with degrees. It has nothing to do with anything that I can truly just obtain by just going to get it. For me is, do we share the same feelings towards one another? Like you said, you're touchy feely. That's me all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I touch you or hear this and that don't mean I want to have sex with you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm touchy feely. I like what I see, and if you're not one of those individuals, then that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also one of those that when I have an ideal in my head, in my head, I have to come to you and say, look, listen, and let me tell you this,
Mm-hmm.
and please give me an honest answer. Don't BS me. Give me an honest answer. So
Mm-hmm.
that's we're so focused on credit scores and all this other stuff. And not to say that they're not important, but they're not the most important thing for me anyway. They're not
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing, because when you're hooking up with someone and y'all both have this energy towards one another, this love for one another, making money, credit scores, all that stuff can be done together. So
Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's a good point because I've been doing some research, and there's some male I want to say podcasters, hosts, or what have you, that that have an opposite opinion of that. And I think what you're bringing is balance, because some of the opinions out there are as that basically everything has to line up before you come together, that you can't come together and then make it work together. And that kind of puzzled me when I saw that, because basically they were kind of saying the as far as the men go, they don't basically need you. They've already made themselves or what have you. And it's like, but coming together and being of support to one another, and the point of wanting a person, and also needing a person, because we don't come here just to be whole by ourselves. We come here to come together and be together and support one another.
a team,
So a team, exactly. So it's good to hear that, because and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show, because I know you have a strong opinion, and and you bring that masculine energy, which women, we need to hear that.
yeah. And another thing, and I've heard that also, where men are getting to the point where, if she broke, I ain't messing with her, this and that and the other. My thing is, no one's telling you to get somebody that's so completely broke financially, broken spiritually, broken emotionally, that you have to put all this energy and time, effort to fix them. What I'm saying is just get someone that can meet you on your energy level. So for me, just say I have all these things, but you don't have them, but you have a whole bunch of ambition. I can see this in you. Sometimes, see, I look at some people not having the ability to look at an individual and tell who he or she is or can be. You know what I mean? So, I can't mess with him. She's only making this, or he's only making this per hour. Guess what? If you really get to know that individual, you'll find that $15 an hour or whatever they're making, that's just something to support them for now. But they have a grander vision of who they are down the line, and you may be the vehicle to help carry them there. And one more thing, and I just, we're so worried about becoming the come up for somebody and them leaving us, that we don't want to take nobody that's beneath us. For me, I'm here to help anyway. So if I can help you move and climb and grow, and then you grow and we separate, it's fine, because I know nothing's forever. And I accept the simple fact that you're like, hey, yo, we're growing apart. I'm glad that you helped me grow. And I see that, I'm this person now, and I no longer need you or, want to be involved with you. If I loved you once, I'm going to still love you, even though you're leaving to go do and pursue your thing. And if I loved you like I say I do, hey, you ever need me again, I'm still here.
See, Cherrard, that's so important, because what you're describing is healthy. That's a healthy relationship. And I think a lot of people get into relationships, and they're in unhealthy relationships. We talk a lot on the program about domestic violence, domestic abuse, narcissistic people, whether it be male or female. But what you're describing, and I thank you, because you described it so eloquently. And coming from a woman is a different perspective than coming from a male. And when you said that about parting, because a lot of times that's where the issue comes, when somebody doesn't feel comfortable saying what you just said, we're not working out, so it's time to go. But there's a lot of women in the situations right now. We've been bringing, resolutions and solutions to them, because a lot of women, they got into a situation where there was, like, I guess, a masquerade at the beginning, and then they don't feel comfortable, or they feel unsafe with leaving. But what you're describing is a healthy relationship. So that's key, to start with the end in mind. So when you're getting into a relationship with someone, that's why it's important to take your time to get to know them in all the seasons, because oftentimes we see the physical, and that's why it's not good to lead with sex, because that clouds everything. And you take a leap dive right into it, and now you're there. And as things progress, it's not what you thought it was going to be, and then it becomes a dangerous situation. So, thank you for bringing that. Like I said, women need to hear that.
Yeah, and then also, I had, like I said, I've got 8 daughters. So
Mm,
I, for them, my message for them is just simple and plain. Far too often, women to find out what a man's job is, how much he makes, his credit score, how he looks in gray sweatpants, because women are sexual just like we are.
yeah.
But in finding out all these externals, you never found out what he felt about you internally. Because some men, hey, money is nothing to them. So if I throw you a couple dollars, shut up, get on, whatever, I pay the cost to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if that's how they operate, that's how they operate. But for me is, what can I give you from here, from inside? What can I give you, on an emotional level? What can I give you? Because some people are only financial upgrades, but they are emotional and psychological downgrades. So you can get all these nice trinkets, but at the end of the day, you're paying the price for it emotionally and psychologically, and sometimes physically with abuse. So we have to get to know more about the individual than what they drive, where they live, and the whole 9 yards, because those things can all go away at the blink of an eye. So
It's absolutely, absolutely true. I'm telling you, you're gonna have women throwing all kinds of comments down in the comment section because you just don't hear that. You don't hear that perspective. And as I've been talking to different men to bring them on the show, I've been talking to different women, and that's one of the common things that I'm hearing them ask for. They want to hear the truth, but all of this just about the money. And that's what it seems like the world is going to. It's just all about the money. Yes, we need money. It's a shield and a defense. We need money to survive. But being in a relationship because of money, I don't subscribe to that.
right. And for me, when you look at, for me, getting up, going to work every day to make money, that's common sense. We're adults. We have homes, we have children, we have things we need to take care of. We have wants and needs that require some money. But when it comes to a relationship should not be built on something monetary, material, or anything else, because we all know that stuff crumbles very quickly. And then COVID is showing us, with people getting shut down, folks having these great jobs one minute, now you're unemployed the next. So it's like, man, now you're seeing abuse spike, domestic violence spike, because, a lot of stress now. Hey, I'm on unemployment, whereas I was making X amount of dollars per week. This unemployment is only giving me a fraction of it now. Now you have a woman here that's may not, like I said, the guy that say I pay the cost to be the boss. Women should understand what that really means when a man says that. That's not just the saying. That's for real, and that's what I mean. I pay the cost to be the boss. And women should understand that before they get themselves involved in something like that.
Cherrard, what does that mean?
Well, when I speak to certain individuals, pay the cost to be the boss means just what it is. I'm the boss. You're subservient to me. What I say goes. You know what I'm saying? I make the decisions. I do this. I am the head, and I'm a dictator. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
I pay this, you pay nothing, you're worth nothing. I made you.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we did a show on narcissistic men. Well, it wasn't just, we were talking about different types of men, but we talked about narcissistic men. And a lot of women don't understand that until they get into the relationship. And you just described that. I just had a really, really bad experience with a narcissistic partner that was a male. Okay. And you don't know that up front. But like you said, though, and I have to go back to change that, because you see the signs and you see the warning signs. Even with that partnership, I saw the signs and I ignored it because, I guess the result of the partnership or the collaboration, that's what I was focused on versus the actual, relationship and path to get there. And so I think that's what happens often in relationships, and what you just described as far as I pay the cost to be the boss. And that's exactly what we described on the show as example. It talked about that. You're an object. Yeah. And so, and the thing of it is that does not change. That blueprint for that person, it doesn't change. And a lot of people, I know a lot of women do this. They think that they can love somebody into loving them back, or they can change a person. You can't change an adult. Only person that can change them is themselves.
And I have a thing, with those 8 daughters, I also have 1 son, And,
okay.
And what I tell them, he and I have very candid conversations, very candid. And I tell them about the women, some women, let's put some, because I don't want to generalize all women. Some women say, yo, men are using us as sex objects, but they also turn around and use sex to get objects, and they don't mind, they'll fall for the pay the cost to be the boss man, because, hey, right at that moment, he's doing what, she wants. Hey, I just want to sit here. I want to look pretty. I want him to give me money and this and that and the other, until things start to go awry and you start to really notice this dude is like, yo, I can't make a move without him giving me permission. I'm grown and this dude telling me I can't do X, Y, and Z. So that's why I tell women, just be careful what you ask for, because you just may get it.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And then the other thing too is people deciding to be with somebody just because of their looks, or men saying that, in order to be with them, you have to be a certain size, a certain number. I'm learning so much, Cherrard, I tell you. I'm learning about these categories. I said my head was down in the sand for so long, building business and such, that when I came up, I'm like, what's this number? Okay, she's a number of 1 to 10, and well, take yourself. It's just so many things that I'm learning. I'm like, wow.
And all these things are relative.
This is a job.
It is. And you have to know so much of, like you said, you got to know the love languages. Then you have to know, what these, when these people have preferences. And, like a young lady says, I can't date a man if he's not 6 feet, 200 pounds. Okay. I said, okay. So there's no other qualities that go with that, huh? He just has to be 6 feet, 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel safe with anybody smaller. I was like, wow, I just, and I laugh because I remember back in the day, when I was younger, hey, a preference, just like, hey, all you got to do is say yes. You know what I'm saying? You say, yeah, and I'm there, right? But now it's I'm very selective. I really love when I can hold a conversation with a woman. Because, what I found in various relationships that I was in, after you get out of the bedroom, then what? We can't talk. We don't share the same ideology about religion or this and that and the other, because my views on religion, as I found out, is vastly different from a lot of people, Okay. And when they, the physical side was all good, but when we sat down to really try to converse and get to know one another, it was like, oh man, I really don't dig you outside of this bedroom. It's like, wow, we don't share any of the same ideologies about race, religion, nothing. So we have to get time we need to spend more time learning one another.
I think that's the key. And I think that's why you have so many, I actually had a friend of mine that she actually was married for about, I want to say about maybe 15, 16 years. And then when her husband retired, she said, I don't like him. I was like, you don't like him? No, we spent all of our time working. And then we spent time on vacations, but the vacation you was different from the at home you every day getting up with you. So that was just kind of funny that she said that. But then the same thing, like what you said, a lot of people do. But you know what, though, in this dating arena now, I keep hearing that, well, this is where you start. They start with sex. And it's like, okay, what are you working toward or working up to? I mean, if that's where you're starting at, and like you said, it can be great there, but, what happens when you sit down having a conversation over breakfast?
and you can't, and it's silence, it's dead air.
It's yeah.
It's just nothing there, and see, and here's a saying that I've learned from my dad and other older guys back in the day. They said, you can get explicitive, sex quicker than a hot meal. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
and it's like when you look at it nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take much to have sex with somebody, you know,
Mm.
and I've run across women that say, hey, I'm gonna do like y'all do. I'm like, well, what do we do? Explain that to me,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them have said, we're gonna have sex without feelings to it, hey, we, and I'm like, well, you're giving away a piece of you every time you do this, right? And once you're giving so much away from, of yourself to somebody that really don't want you other than this right here. Now you're going to have a tainted view of all men, and this is all they want, when it actually you cause your own. You have a self-induced uh, situation that you could have stopped. You out here giving of yourself freely and not making these people earn you. You know
That's
what I
so
mean?
yes.
So,
Yes.
and it's like, if he doesn't do anything to earn you, and I'm not talking about the flowers, the candy, that stuff is easy. That's so cliche. Let me go ahead and get this card and these flowers, and it's Valentine's Day. Let me see. I ain't even gonna read the card. It's just in the right category. I picked that there. Love Cherrard on it. Put
Uh-huh.
that there. Give you some candy and stuff, and let's go to dinner.
Right.
Cliche.
Right.
Now, my thing is, hey, does that man, when y'all together, it's snowing outside, is he the one that get up and get the snow off your car? Or are you out there doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Did he make sure that there's gas in the car so that you're not there at the gas station at night? Or, hey, babe, I'm about to get some gas. Well, no, you're not. I'll meet you up there. I don't need you there by yourself. These are those little things, the walking on the outside of the woman when you're walking down the street. And a lot of people, or a lot of older people don't know, hey, when you open the door for a woman, she's not supposed to be the first one in. You're supposed to walk in first to assess the situation to make sure it's safe to enter. So these are little things that amount to big things, when they're not being done. Because now you're seeing that, hey, if he got a lot of money, buying you something is nothing. But when somebody give you their time and their energy, that's showing you something.
Man, Sherrod, I'm telling you, you're knocking out the ballpark, sir. I'm telling you, your 8 daughters are so fortunate to have you as their father. I'm telling
What
you, that's a blessing.
I mean, and it took me time to figure this out, because I tried to go rogue and not listen to my old dude and the older cats.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this on my own, and and all the while I was doing it on my own, and I was doing it wrong. You know, everything for me was just basically, oh man, she thick. Oh, yo, hey, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
then as you get older, it's like, okay, what else? What else is there to a relationship besides just banging away, banging away, banging away? Whether you call it love, effing, or whatever you want to call it, it's like, what else can we do?
Right.
And that's why I say, find someone that's ambitious enough to build with you. What build the relationship or build a business, whatever. Just come together, because for me, we're not independent beings, we're interdependent beings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the ant colony and how they work together, man, we can learn so much.
Absolutely, we can. I want to go back to that part about what you said about giving yourself away when and I think that's something that ladies miss. Not only are you giving yourself away, but I believe in ties. I believe in soul ties. I believe in that exchange, that you are actually connecting with that person, and women being receivers and men being givers.
Yeah.
When men release, they release more than just, it's their spirit.
Yeah.
So now if you're saying, and that's why we're so different, and I might get beat up for this, but Sherrod, I've gotten beat up for stuff before because I
Oh,
do think a little different. Sometimes I've been told, "Well, you think like they do." I'm like, no, it's not thinking like they do. It's like, it's understanding the truth.
yeah.
That's why you run around here and you find women that are busting out windshields and cutting up tires and all this stuff, because you don't realize you've accepted part of his spirit when you've laid down with him. So so that theory of I'm gonna just be like men and I'm not gonna feel, no, what you're doing is you're suppressing those feelings, because we are emotional creatures. We are emotional. We get attached, not saying that men don't, but we're just different. Men are visual. So ladies, I do say this too. Oftentimes women get comfortable. They get in a relationship with the man and they get comfortable, and then now he comes home or what have you, and you haven't done the things that you did to get him. You've totally changed that, because you think, okay, I got him now, whether it's I do or whether it's not, but I got him now. You stop doing the things to pamper yourself and take care of yourself and make yourself look good for him. Then we wonder, why is he looking at so-and-so, and not giving him an excuse for it, but just telling you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Or making it adventurous or making it different, or, there's some things that we have to be accountable. Even when we get into a relationship, we have to be accountable and not get comfortable,
And when you find yourself with a man that's appreciative of you, you don't have to jump through hoops to get his appreciation. You don't have to jump through hoops for, the things that you should normally have. Because for me, it's like, if you fix me something to eat, there's only a few things that I definitely would not eat. I don't eat pork. Don't bring me no meatloaf. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate, hey, you got up and cooked a meal for me. That in itself, hey, people put their hearts into stuff when they have to, do it by hand and this and that and the other. Because I can go buy you some ribs right now down at the soul food joint. You know what I mean? And that's simple. But when somebody is in the kitchen doing something for you, hey, ironing your clothes for you, when someone is just putting their energy into something, that's what I appreciate. And I try to reciprocate it as much as possible. I don't think we live in a world of equality. I think we live in a world controlled by balance. And that's what we see. So many women are trying to fight for equality, being equal to men, and not all men are created equal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's where I think a lot of women are really falling short. There's no such thing as equality. It's only balance. And, explaining it to my son, I said, okay, you and I have the same name, but we're not the same being. I'm taller than you and I weigh more than you, but you're faster and you more youthful than I am. So we're not equal in those regards. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I said, but, being that you're my son and we do things together or whatnot, we can balance one another off in a way that my strengths may be your weaknesses and vice versa. And that's why men and women were put together on earth, because women and men, there is no such thing as men and women. It's men and women. And when you put them together, they don't balance each other off, because, a man that is a leader or have leadership qualities, because I believe a man is the head of the household, because he's supposed to protect that house. He's supposed to protect it, be it financially, against intruders or whatever. But guess what? Being a leader doesn't mean I'm a dictator, though. You have to pick a woman that's wise, that's as she's wise counsel. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know everything, and I'm not gonna pretend like I do. So I'm gonna look at my woman like, hey, what's X, Y, and Z? I just don't want a pretty face there that all she can do is smile and look pretty. I want somebody that can tell me, yo, this X, Y, and Z, this how we need to do this. And I'm gonna follow her lead on it, because she knows more about it than I do. Mm-hmm. So that's
now what is this notion, though? Because we had a gentleman on the show, and believe it or not, his philosophy was that no matter what men say, mm-hmm. that they actually they don't like smart women.
What, smart mouth women?
No. We talked about intellect. That because he don't want the woman to be, he has to be smarter than her, and he has to be smarter than her. Men don't really like women that are smart. I knew that was gonna get you.
Okay, look. Okay, look. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, dig this. Maybe that works for him or the people he's around. Okay. most of the women that I've dated, I don't have a college degree. Most women I've dated have college degrees. So if you look at intellect based on the degrees, they're smarter than I am,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
And like I just said, she's going to know some things I don't know. For instance, I'll tell a woman, if you can't learn anything from the man you're interested in, you shouldn't be involved with him. That's the same for men. If I can't look at you and learn something from you, I shouldn't be with you. So I don't go by she's smarter than me or she's too smart. I have to have somebody with an intellect in order for me to get better as an individual, because when I'm talking to you, just on a friendship basis, you and I talk.
Right.
I learn more things. Oh, she said something about herbs. So should I look at you and look down and be mad at you because you know more about herbs than I do? No, that's
right.
Right. That's why I come to talk to you anyway. Hey, you know some stuff.
Right.
I don't want to talk to an airhead. I don't want to talk to a dummy. So for me, when a man, and I don't know this man, so what I'm saying is when an individual doesn't want a smart woman or an intelligent woman, he wants a woman that he can control. And a lot of intellectual women, they know the power of submission. So when they submit, they also know that whatever I give you in submission, I can take it back away from you too, because I made a choice to submit to somebody like you because I felt like you have these qualities about you. So an intelligent woman is not going to submit to just any kind of man. She's going to submit to a dude she feel like, hey, he's a leader. I feel safe with him. When I go out with him, I don't need the super thug, but I don't want a punk either. My man is not a professor, but he's not a dummy. So I think intellectual women are looking for a man with great balance in his life. Hey, Jill Scott and Anthony Hamilton have a song. She says, I like the way you handle yourself around other men.
So in Love with You is the name of that song. Yes.
She loves the way, because you don't want a man that other men look down on.
That's for sure.
So when you a man amongst men, that's what she's looking at. That's what she likes. So that's an intelligent woman though. And that's a woman that knows herself and she knows what she wants and she knows her worth. So for me, I need a woman that's smart.
Cherrard, I'm telling you, I be telling the ladies when I get on here, I say, okay, I can't talk about it. I got to let the man talk because we want to hear what he got to say. And Cherrard, I'm telling you, I've been wanting to jump up and run around in this office because I'm telling you the truth. And this is what we need to hear. Like you said, balance. So we need to know that, a certain type of man exists, but also a certain type of man exists. So women need to hear that. And they can't hear from us as women. We sitting in our huddles talking what we bring into each other. You know what I'm saying? So, I hate that our time is coming short, but man, Cherrard, you got to commit to coming back. I'm telling you.
Man, you know me. Anytime you call me, I'll come back. Man,
I'm telling you. I've been in the same thing, Cherrard. I enjoy coming to you because there's a lot of things that I don't know that I learn when we sit down and we talk. Yes, and and ladies, it's important to have men in your life that are true, that are sincere, that have positive energy, because we feed off of that, and we are here to help make one another better. So, but I promised at the end, though, Cherrard has some wonderful things that he is working on. I love your what is the mug that you had just a minute ago?
This is part of my Black Love Gang lineup. I have T-shirts, mugs, and hoodies, and this right here is really symbolic of when we grew up in the era about riding and dying for one another. We say, that's my homie. I ride or die for him or her. We're older now. The Black community has been decimated by murder, crime, the whole nine. How about we start no longer riding or dying for one another, but we help each other rise and fly, and that's through supporting businesses, through supporting the ideals that we have, things like that, so we're going to help each other rise and fly so we no longer ride or die. Well,
Cherrard, I'm going to get all of your detailed information because I'm included in the details below because I want everybody to know how to get in contact with you, to get their T-shirts, to get I love that. I want to put that in a little tag as well. You said rise and, what is it? Rise and fly?
Yep. We no longer ride or die. We rise and fly.
We rise and fly. We rise and fly. And don't forget, everybody, to go and visit the Soul Vision podcast that's coming back to us in February, and I'm telling you, I had an opportunity. Actually, Cherrard, I thank you so much because he was the one that helped to launch me to get started, and with his support. And that's why I say sometimes we have to stand on the shoulders of giants. Yes, Cherrard, giants. Stand on the shoulder of giants to become better.
Thank you.
So, ladies, again, listen up, because we can learn a lot when we stop talking and we actually listen. So again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we promise, I promise, I'm gonna bring Cherrard back. But you guys got to give me some comments, and I'll bring them back. So stay fearless, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now.
See you later.